Yo guys, Jonathan here, and every once in a while a special project comes across the channel, and this is definitely one of them. I've done a ton of setups that fall under a certain price point or under a certain budget, but I've never gone truly crazy. And for the longest time now, I wanted to put together a 4K home theater setup with no budget in mind, where the audio is equally as impressive as the picture, and I think this is it. So the centerpiece of the setup is LG's 65-inch E7 4K OLED TV. There are many attractive things about this TV, and I think first and foremost, aside from the picture quality itself, has got to be the looks and the aesthetic. This features what LG is calling picture on glass. So one, you are seeing pretty much zero bezels, and two, even in a situation like this where it's not wall mounted, it still gives off the illusion where that picture is just kind of floating up in the air. Next, I got to talk about that beautiful image. Again, this is a 65-inch 4K OLED display packed in a resolution of 3840 by 2160. And yes, pixels, resolution, those are important, but what sets us apart and takes us to the next level for me is that OLED display. Oftentimes when it comes to TVs, I think I would take a 1080p OLED TV over a 4K non-OLED. In this case, when you can combine both and get the best of both worlds, it is a beautiful thing. If you've seen a good quality OLED TV in person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't yet, it is a glorious thing to experience. The picture is rich, it's vibrant, it's crisp, and you're getting about the deepest blacks you could possibly imagine. Now this is especially useful if you're watching a movie in letterbox, so those black bars at the top and the bottom, those kind of just disappear and get out of your way, and you are left sucked into whatever it is you are watching. From there, you guys know I'm a huge fan of LG's WebOS interface. It is probably one of the more intuitive interfaces out there. Honestly, if you don't want to buy an Apple TV, a Chromecast, a Roku, it is good enough where you would be happy with this out of the box. So I could go on and on about the picture quality, but I also want to give LG a huge shout out for the audio quality and soundbar built into this TV. It's honestly the first TV that claims to have good audio out of the box that actually has good audio out of the box. No joke, if you wanted to buy this TV and you didn't want to spend $500 to $1,000 on a dedicated soundbar, you're not gonna have to. It is that good. Now, by no means is it going to replace a dedicated home theater audio setup, but regardless, it is still very impressive. Again, I think there's no need to spend $500 to $1,000 on a soundbar. Instead, put that towards a crazier high-end setup, or I think for most people, you're going to be really happy with the built-in sound and not spend any money whatsoever. Now, as impressive as that built-in soundbar is, I want to take things even further, even crazier. So these are the Focal Aria 948s, and by far, these are the craziest and most beautiful sounding speakers I've ever got a chance to listen to. So the Aria 948s are a pair of three-way loudspeakers, and holy crap, it is like having a movie theater in your living room. By no means am I an audiophile, so I'm not gonna get super technical, super specky, or audiophile-y over these, but I can tell you they sound incredible. Packed inside of each of these are two 8-inch bass drivers, a 6.5-inch mid-range driver, and then a 1-inch aluminum magnesium tweeter that rounds everything together. Now what you're seeing here are the white piano finish, but they also come in black piano, walnut, which both look incredible. And if you guys want to check out any more specs, details, or pricing, I'll make sure to drop a link down below. By themselves, these have an incredible amount of low end, like to the point where if you listen to them and didn't know, you would probably think there was a subwoofer with this setup. It is that good. But seeing how we're doing things here, I thought it was only fitting to add a subwoofer to this setup. So rounding out this audio setup is the Focal Sub 1000F. Again, the Aria 948s by themselves sound ridiculous, but if you're looking for that complete balls to the wall full home theater setup, this 1000F sub really completes the setup. Now the speakers are only as good as the amp that is driving them, so it would make zero sense to have amazing speakers and a subpar amp. Powering this setup is the Cambridge Audio CXR200, which is an insane amplifier. It packs a ton of power, all the ins and outs you can possibly want. In this case, what was most important for me was that it had a 4K pass-through. So if you wanted to add a PS4 Pro, the upcoming Xbox One X, or a 4K Apple TV, you can do that and still take advantage of the entire setup. So as I dive into the audio quality, just remember the CXR200 is the powerhouse behind this, driving this beautiful audio. So I got to experience these watching Mad Max, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, went a little throwback with Jurassic Park, and every time it was equally as impressive. And I'm not exaggerating, it is the closest thing to being in a theater without being in a theater.
My name's Richard, and I'm not prepared for my ears to get blown out.
Oh, this thing was a sword.
We've been hired to stop an interdimensional beast from feeding on those back.
That's loud. Wow. The neighbors are gonna be mad, John.
Have the neighbors complained yet?
It's like we're in a movie theater.
Oh, it's like shaking the couch.
I feel it. I literally just can feel it from here.
Yeah, completely like movie theaters.
This is a better experience than like being in a movie theater.
Agreed.
Like, it's way better, in my opinion. I'd rather watch this than like, you know, watch it in a movie theater.
That sounds like those are the best sounding like normal speakers I've ever listened to. Like I say normals and like not in like a theater or something. Like I'm sitting probably what, like 10 feet away and like I could feel the bass from them. Like that's pretty crazy.
It's sexy sound. It's very sexy.
Lastly, rounding up the setup is a beautiful, beautiful TV console from Living Spaces. Not an ad, but Living Spaces, if you're watching, let's talk. It was big enough to hide everything inside, which is really important to me as far as the aesthetic goes, especially with the amp, which is a giant, giant piece of tech. The reclaimed wood look gives off this really, really nice rustic look, and I think matches the aesthetic of the entire setup perfectly. Aside from that, thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the setup. If you did and you are feeling like being awesome, make sure to smash that like button. If you enjoy more setups, make sure to check out these videos here, and I will catch you guys later.